it's so weird because you've got to manifest the outcome of what you want, but be detached to the point where you're like, whatever happens, happens. I think it's difficult when you're dealing with brands and reputations and egos. There's a lot. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Manuela. If you're new here, hi, welcome. Today's video is a little bit different. This video is going to be my modelling Q&A. I've had so many questions from you guys asking me to talk about my modelling journey. These are all the questions I had 6 years ago when I first started off modelling, and I literally cannot wait to answer these questions. Okay, so question number 1. How did you get into modelling? Ooh, okay, so this is a long story, but essentially how I started off is I've always had a passion for modelling, as in like the TV shows. I used to watch America's Next Top Model. I remember after school, me and my friends would go to Primark changing room and we'd literally get changed into clothes and take photos as if we're doing photo shoots. When I was around 17, 18 years old, most of my friends were doing photography A-level and they needed a model. And no one would do it, and I was like, oh my god, fine, I'll do it. I volunteered myself to do it, but it was literally just to support my friends. I just found it so funny that my friend would be taking a photo of me and then behind her are a bunch of my friends, like we're laughing together at the situation because I'm trying to hold serious poses. I wasn't based in London at the time. I was actually living in Dorset, in Poole, which is near Bournemouth. If anyone doesn't know what that is, it's southwest of England. And so that's where I spent my teenage years. I went to school there as well. But I always knew in the back of my head that I wanted to move to London, not more so for modelling, but more so for music because I'm a musician. But at the time, I didn't have any confidence. I was just really shy. I was stressed out from A-levels as well. Funnily enough, for A-level, I didn't do like art or photography or even music. I did psychology, English language and literature, media, and EPQ. EPQ is basically an extended project qualification. I kept applying to agencies during this time. I'd go for any opportunity every now and then. So you'd have to wake up really early, travel to London, like during the weekends, because obviously I couldn't do it during school times. It was a lot of back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It was tiring. It was very tiring. So let's fast forward a few more months. Okay, so now it was time to think about my next steps in life. And I was like, okay, so I'm moving to London. It's happening. So I basically decided I wanted to go to university to study music. I went to ICMP in London. I had no friends in London. Literally didn't know anyone. And so I was like, okay, I've got no friends. I need a hobby. Let's do something. Let's meet new people. I literally would go onto Facebook forums, write statuses and be like, hey, my name's Manuela. I'm a London-based aspiring model. I would love to meet up with any photographers who are down to collaborate. And I didn't think much of it. I just carried on doing that for months, and then months turned into years. Everything fell into place. Eventually, I wasn't making any money. I had literally no photos. I was building up my portfolio while studying at university full-time as a music student, whilst working, this sounds crazy, working on the side, a nursery teacher, basically singing to kids. And then on top of that, I was doing night shifts working at So Far Sounds within live music events management. It was a lot. I used to come back home and get migraines, I remember. This wasn't during first year. Oh wait, guys, this is the whole story. I went to uni in 2019. 2020 was COVID, so I missed out on a whole chunk of, good times with friends because it happened during March. So that March until like summertime, I missed out all of that. I don't even remember where I was. It's all a blur. I can't remember if I was in London or went back home for. I think I was in London, then went back home for a bit, and then came back to London in September 2020 for second year. But second year was all online, so that was challenging. During second year was probably when I started taking it a bit more seriously, as well as doing YouTube as well. I started my channel in 2020. On Instagram I started posting more, using hashtags. I just carried on with the whole Facebook thing, forums, asking people to collaborate. And the more I would do this, the more people would reach out to me. Photographers would be like, hey, we'd love to work with you. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And when I look back now, one thing that helped me a lot was being involved and conceptualizing shoots with the photographers. If a photographer approaches you without concept, don't just assume that they're going to create the mood board. You've got to be just as involved and just as active. So throw around your ideas, look at inspiration on Pinterest. But the huge turning point for me was when I kind of took a step back and I was like, you know what? I've been applying for agencies for 6 years. I've been getting rejected left, right and centre. It is taking a toll on me, like on my confidence, on my self-esteem. It's really easy to say like it doesn't affect you, but when you're constantly hearing no, you're not what we're looking for at the moment, you start to take it personally, and then you have to take a step back and be like, whoa, this is all to do with looks. I always have to remind myself, my biggest asset is my personality and the person I am within, the heart that I carry. So yeah, it's just been these past 6 years of me just going for it. and I'd apply and apply and apply, and I'd get rejections after rejections after rejections. I was much more younger then, a lot more insecure, and most of the times you're working with people who are older than you, so you're the youngest in the room. Sometimes that can be intimidating, but you just got to keep going. I've lived in London for like 5 years now, and I've moved every year. Every year I've moved, and it's like it gets to a point where you just feel so displaced. The minute you start feeling like, okay, I've got this, everything's stable, your landlord's like, you've got a week's notice to move out because someone didn't pay rent for 6 months. True story, I'm not going to get into it, but stuff like that just happen. It just messes you up mentally. And then when things like that are happening on the side, you're like, oh wait, I've got a photo shoot that I've been booked for. Eventually brands start reaching out to you and they want to pay you for shoots. You're not going to miss out on these shoots despite how you're feeling. You've got to get up, put your makeup on, put a smile on your face, and walk out that door. Because what? Because we wanted this since we were 17 or younger, I still want that now. But it's those realizations. It's so easy to be ungrateful. It's so easy to want to quit, but you have to keep on going. And I always say this, like, you have to be in your own corner and be persistent. The amount of times I've wanted to give up, and guys, I'm so glad that I haven't. Honestly, every time I've had a down day, the week after, it's never the day after, but the week after, I'll feel like I'm on top of the world again. Okay, so how did I get signed? So it's such a long story, but my first big girl salary job, I just didn't enjoy that job. It wasn't for me, but I kept ignoring it. I felt like I was walking on eggshells. In the back of my head was always like, I'm wasting my time here. I should be doing music, I should be modeling, but am I just living in fairyland, like thinking that this is a reality? Does it come to a point where you have to be realistic with yourself? I'm a dreamer, I'm a big dreamer, and any sense of logic that is brought my way, I shut it down, because it's like, you can't tell me I can't do anything I set my mind to, because I will do it. But yeah, I didn't enjoy it, and so much was happening within my personal life which impacted work, of course, and I got fired before Christmas. I felt infuriated because I was like, I should have listened to myself. All those times I said I wanted to leave, I didn't leave, making someone else rich. This isn't my reality. But I feel like, looking back now, God put me there for a reason. Now I look back, I'm like, I'm so grateful that happened. But at that time, I thought my world was collapsing, honestly. I thought, is this it? This is the end of everything that I've worked so hard for. Moving here wasn't easy. One Wednesday in March, I woke up and I was like, what would I normally be doing if it was me this time last year? I'd be at work from 11 till 7 p.m. Looking back now, what do I remember telling myself? And I had this conversation with myself, and I was like, I'd say to myself, if I had free time, I would what? I would make more music. I would attend castings and walk-ins. So why are you not doing that now that you've got so much time on your hands? Why not? I looked on Instagram a few weeks before, and I saw that a modelling agency was doing a casting, like an open call, and that's basically open to everyone. You just basically turn up. You don't have to be an experienced model. I mustered up the courage to get changed. I remember feeling very nervous, but I was in a good mood. I left the house, went on the bus all the way to the casting. Walking from the bus stop, oh my god, to the casting, I was shivering. And you might be thinking, girl, you've been doing this for 6 years, why are you nervous? This was my first ever open call. Throughout these 6 years, I've always been so nervous of going to open calls and getting rejected face to face. I'd only ever apply for castings online or modelling agencies online. Get in line, sign in, write my name. You basically get one portrait taken of you facing the camera, and then one to the side showing your side profile. You have to do it scared. It doesn't mean you walk in that room with 100% confidence. Absolutely not. You are going to walk in that room with those fears that you still have. But guess what? After that experience, you're going to leave a new person. Do you think after I left that casting, I was like, oh my god, I'm never doing this again? Absolutely not. I thought the complete opposite. I felt so silly. I felt ridiculous. I was like, why have I not done this before? Why did I not believe in myself more? If only I believed in myself more and gave myself the courage to attend open calls. I just wanted to mention that to any aspiring models out there, or creatives, whatever you do. We all get nervous, but we have to do it anyway. A few weeks went by, I didn't think much of it, and then I get an email inviting me to a Zoom call, and I was like, what's this for? And it's basically me and a bunch of other potential models, and they basically told us, we'd love to sign you guys, we're going to send over a contract. They went over their handbook, went over any questions we had. Is this actually happening right now? These past 6 years have basically amounted to this moment. Like, this is it. This is the moment. This is the moment that I've been waiting for my whole life, because I got signed in March 2024. It is now January 2025, and I haven't been booked for one job from an agency. No one mentioned that. No one mentioned that to me as a freelance model. And you can imagine the confusion. Why on earth have I not been booked for anything? And people tell you, oh, wait at least a year. Wait a year for what? When there's people that are getting signed to Fenty Skin, Fenty Beauty, wait a year for what? It's just a waiting game. And I wish I heard that. That's not to discourage anyone, but it is a waiting game. For the longest time as a freelancer, I thought the goal was to be a signed agency model. I literally have a YouTube video up about this. I'll leave it on a card and link down below. It'd be great to have an agency on board who will find these opportunities for you. But baby girl, the freelancing doesn't stop. You're still doing test shoots. You're still working for free, even as a signed model. There's different contracts. There's like non-exclusive, there's exclusive, there's your mother agency. There's just a lot, I've made a whole TikTok about this. I'll link it below. There's so many terms you need to get familiar with. Do not sign your life away, first of all, especially if you're a creative who has multiple interests and passions and like side hustles. Read those prints very well. Do not sign something that will ultimately mean that you can't put out new music, that you can't book any acting gigs. So that means if another agency comes up to me and they're like, hey, we'd love to sign you, I can sign with them. Oh, an international one in Spain. Oh, we'd love to sign you. Amazing. Oh, you speak Portuguese. Oh, amazing. Portugal. You're based in London. Oh, we've got great connections to Paris. We'd love to sign you. That's how people build themselves as models. That's how people make it. Diversifying. Do not stick to one. Unless it's like a very well-established agency, don't put all your eggs in one basket. You want to be able to be represented as much as you can everywhere. I'm going to leave a resource in the description that I wish I had sooner. It's basically a list of all the legitimate agencies, because as we all know, there are so many scams out there. Ooh, is that nice? Do you like that? Is that warm for you? The next question is, do you ever feel nervous when you're shooting or about to shoot? Absolutely. As someone who suffers from anxiety, I get nervous all the time. I'm overthinking everything. My outfit, my hair, my makeup, but then I stop and I'm like, wait, I'm literally going to photo shoot. They're going to change my outfit. They're going to change my hair. They're going to change my makeup. But you just have to be yourself. Remember that people are human beings. That's the biggest tip I'd give you in terms of nerves. I think it's difficult when you're dealing with brands and reputations and egos. There's a lot. Remember that you're dealing with people and not their brands or their job titles. So for example, if I was booked on to do a shoot with Prada, manifesting, it is so natural for me to be like, oh my god, I don't belong here. Look at people in the eye. Ask them, how are you? How's your day? How's your journey here? Every shoot that I've gone to, everyone's been so friendly. Whether I've worked with a photographer who's shy and says 2 words, I have never felt uncomfortable in any shoot that I have done. Of course it's nerve-wracking. You're putting your life on the line when you are on Facebook, on forums, and you're saying to people, hey, I'm based here. This is my name. This is what I do. I remember once someone reached out to me on Facebook asking me to do a photo shoot. So where's this photo shoot going to take place? And they're like, oh, in my home studio. And I was like, hey, that's not going to happen. Hey, sorry to break it to you. Shoot's cancelled. If you want to do a photo shoot, we can do one in a studio and I'll happily contribute to the costs. Or it's outside. There's no way, Jose, that me, as a 5'3" petite woman, is going to do a photo shoot in a house with a grown man. It could be a woman as well. It doesn't matter. It's not happening. What am I doing at a stranger's house? Absolutely not. Never feel bad or feel sorry for looking out for yourself. You have to use your discernment. Even if it is me all the way dressed, makeup done, hair done, ready to go for a shoot, I'm about to leave the house, and I get a gut feeling saying don't go, guess what? Makeup's coming off, hair is coming undone, pajamas back on. I'm not leaving the house. Never ever believe what you see just because it looks professional. Fake profiles on Facebook, people with their stock images. First of all, your image is pixelated. I click on it, can't even go past your first cover photo of a beach. That's not you, babe. Okay, next question. Do you have any tips and tricks for beginners? Yes, so I've actually made an ebook which is available for you guys to buy. I'm joking. Tip number 1. Social media is your best friend. Post, and post. Forget the unfollowers. If people unfollow you because they went to school with you and, oh my god, you appear so vain. Oh, oh, that's what I have to say, literally. Like, I want to be a model. You're going to see my face everywhere. That's the aim. So you have to get comfortable posting. You have to get comfortable with people's opinions. Post on TikTok. Look for castings. Look for open calls. Ask and look for other models' experiences with specific agencies. Again, as a beginner model, I would also say write a list of the brands you want to work with, your dream clients. Write them down and then you can reach out to agencies, not the other way around. Don't just apply to every single agency and then wait for one of them to pick you, to choose you, to have you on board. No, you have to set what you want in stone. I want to work with this brand, I want to do commercial work, therefore I would love to be signed to an agency such as Sending a DM will take you miles. Do not be shy, shoot your shot. What's gonna happen next? I used to be so scared of crossroads, right or left, which way to go, but now I'm like, no, I want to be at crossroads and let the other person decide, right or left. Tell me. If you tell me no, amazing, but now you know my name. If you tell me yes, oh great. It's so weird because you've got to manifest the outcome of what you want, but be detached to the point where you're like, whatever happens, happens. No means next opportunity. It's better to get a no than to get no reply. And I mean no reply because you haven't sent out an initial email, because you haven't sent out a DM. Not as in they've aired you. I get aired on a daily basis. It's the best thing ever, because those same people who are airing you, those same brands, are going to be the same brands who come around in 3 years time, in 5 years time, when you're popping off. Oh my god, we love you, we've been supporting your journey. No, you haven't. Like, take photos, reach out to your friends who are photographers and stylists. Like, I'm telling you now, the people that you want to work with are around you. The people that you're going to work with in the future, your dream clients, there are people within your circle, mutual friends of mutual friends. You might look at their pages now and be like, just starting out as photographers, there's nothing here. Guys, potential. If I looked at myself 6 years ago, I don't know if I would have invested in myself if I was an agency. But if I look at me now, I'm like, take all my coins, take my pennies, take the checks. And you've got to have that same approach for yourself and for other people around you. Bring spare clothes with you. Always have your basics, your black vests, always. Please invest in a basic wardrobe. You need those vests all the time. Get some like black mini shorts that you can wear under your mini skirts and dresses. Get a strapless bra. Just invest in those little things that you feel like you won't need, because you'll always need them. Don't be shy when it comes to vlogging. If the team is comfortable with it and you're shooting material that isn't like exclusive, vlog. We want to see your journey. We love it. Another thing I would say in terms of organization, remember who you're working with and always write down the person's first name, their last name, phone number, email, date of the shoot and description of the shoot, and their role within the photo shoots. If I've had a bad encounter with you, guess what color you are on the list? You're red. And guess what? I'm gonna avoid working with you in the future. On the contrary, if you're someone that I loved working with, you'll know already. People forget, first impressions are everything. So make sure you're leaving a good one. Like, people aren't as scary as you think they are. You'll learn so much from each other. So I wish I had that earlier on. And do more group shoots as well. I haven't done many group shoots. And another one. Get out of your own head and just do the damn thing. Apply and figure out what you're going to do about it after. Keep pushing your barriers and expanding your skills. Don't say I can't do this because I'm this. No. I didn't realize how confident I was. I didn't realize that all the rejections would make me thick-skinned. I see now how everything has happened for a reason, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's not all beautiful. People just see the glamour of things. They see you in nice, pretty dresses, makeup looking gorgeous, hair done. They don't see you sat on the chair getting your makeup done and crying silently inside because it looks terrible. They don't see you getting your photos back from a shoot that you spent hours on, like doing like a 3-hour shoot. You get your photos back and you're like, I didn't like any single one of them. Not because of the team and their work, but more so how you feel, your self-concept, your self-esteem. That's a big one. Is there anything I should prepare myself for trying to look for an agency? Yeah. Prepare your personality. Have a personality. In a world where the casting directors and model scouts are looking for people who look good, your personality has to shine through. Don't be boring. Don't hide parts of yourself because you want to be normal. Like, what even is normal? So I think I mentioned before already, just have your dream clients at hand. Make sure you know who you want to work with. Don't be clueless. Know what your goals are. You have to be prepared enough for an opportunity to arise at any moment. You could leave your house and someone could literally scout you on the spot, or have a microphone, and you need to have enough confidence to be able to speak in that microphone and tell them, these are my dream clients, this is my dream agency, this is what I do, I'm based in this is my height, you just have to speak with so much conviction in yourself. Someone's going to watch that video and be like, wow, I'm going to share that video. The whole of 2024, where I've had so much time to work on freelance and stuff whilst looking for a full-time job and getting rejected every single day, I was like, what's one thing I've always wanted to do that I always say I didn't have time for? Acting as a background extra. So I signed up online to some acting agencies and I didn't think much of it until I got booked for my first job. And I was like, okay, I got booked for UEFA Women's Football Champions League. First of all, it was crazy because I knew nothing about football. Second of all, I was working with like England football legends. I was on set with them, talking to them about their career. And I was like, wow, I've put myself in this space simply through curiosity. And now when it comes to any modelling jobs and they ask me, do you have any acting experience? I'm like, yeah, I do. You need to be able to tick off as many boxes as you can for yourself in terms of your professional experience so that you're well versed as a model. If there is a talent booker who's looking specifically for a model who has experience within acting, who can pull off some great accents, who's also sporty, and you can do all of that, the job's yours in comparison to another model who just has the modelling experience. And I say just has, not to diminish them, but to emphasize the power of having other skills in your bag. Another question says, should I try to look for an agency or be freelance? I would say look for agencies, of course, never stop looking, because the more people you have in your team looking for opportunities for you is amazing. You can spend your time doing the modelling thing, you know, not spending all of your time looking for jobs for yourself, which is very, very time consuming. However, do not restrict yourself and go where your happiness is. If you are signed to an agency and you've got an exclusive contract, meaning that you're not permitted to work with other agencies, and you feel like that's restricting your creative freedom as a model, then I don't think that's the right agency or contract type for you. Definitely sign to multiple agencies if that is what's going to allow you to reach your goals as a model. A goal could be, to be on a billboard, to be represented internationally. So don't limit yourself. But do remember, you are essentially freelancing 24/7. And I think people forget that. They think, oh, the minute I get signed, that means I won't have to do test shoots, every single shoot I do, I'll be getting paid. No, you've got to keep updating your portfolio and your digitals, your modelling portfolio pictures. Like, it does not stop. How do you feel modelling has impacted your life in terms of restrictions? Okay, that's a great question. So I would say that at first I was very hesitant. I was like, I need to be a clean slate. I need to make sure I've got the same hairstyle in. My agency has a policy where if I was to change my hair colour or dye my hair, for instance, my hair was in locks, but I've changed it into my natural hair, my afro, I just have to update them with photos so that they can update my books on their end, so that if any clients are like, hey, we'd love to book Manuela, they've got the most recent looking photos of me. Funnily enough, when I got my nose pierced, I got booked for more modelling jobs. Not because of the nose piercing, it just kind of happened. So I was like, oh, okay, you just have to live your life. I've got my tragus pierced, I've got my earlobes pierced and my seconds pierced on both ears. I've been able to book certain jobs because of those piercings. So I did a modelling jewellery workshop, loads of different jewellers, and most of them did have earrings where you could stack them. They were like, oh, we'd love to see how these two earrings would look together. Do you have like more than one piercing? And I was like, yeah, I do. So that works out really well, Don't not get a piercing or a tattoo that you really want because an agency says no. Well, then they're not the right agency for you. The agency that represents you should represent all of you, not parts of you. They don't get to pick and choose. How do you book so many modelling jobs? Girl, if you knew the way I work, I have basically rewired my brain to see everything as an opportunity. Shoot your shot. Why not? What's the worst that's going to happen? Don't say, I'm not going to reach out to this brand because they've got a blue tick. So I think sometimes we put so much emphasis on the brand and, their big reputation. You are also it. You are the it girl. Brands want to work with you. I recently got into UGC, and if you're like, what is UGC? It's basically user-generated content. The way I like to put it is basically modelling at home. So brands will send you packages and you've basically got to model their products for them. And I thought, aha, this is great because I've worked with brands as a model. So I've already got that modelling experience there. When you're a model, you're working with a team. UGC, mostly you're working alone. You're doing the content. So that's interesting. You have to play the role of the model, also the videographer or the photographer, and also the creative director, also the stylist, also the makeup artist, and the hairstyle. You're basically doing everything, It's a different way of working. It's more isolated. If you want to build a good clientele as a model, you've got to stay in touch with people. Don't just do a shoot and be like, bye, see you later, I'll send you the invoice. No. Like, get people's details, get back in touch, make sure you express your gratitude for the shoot if you had a really good shoot. If there's any feedback, give that feedback. Sometimes creative opportunities can feel very transactional, but they aren't. It's a way to build community. I just remembered I didn't have any rings on. Absolutely fuming. But anyway, I just want to end this video by saying to anyone out there, do not give up. That is the difference between people who make it and the people who don't. If I were to give up with modelling, would I be happy? No. And what does that signal to me? That signals to me that there's so much more work to be done. And so I share that to encourage you to never ever dream small. Do not let anyone project their own fears and insecurities onto you. You dream as big as you can, you shoot for the stars. Keep aiming high. I don't know what's on the other side. It's scary, I don't know, but I trust that everything's going to be okay. And I trust that I have gone through these things for a reason, that I'm sharing these videos and these tips to help someone out there. You can do it. It's not an easy ride, but you're never alone. And again, if you have any questions, let me know. I'm here to help. These questions have honestly been so amazing and so helpful and so interesting to answer as well. So thank you so much for sending them in. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!